Hey everyone, welcome. In this video, I'm going to talk about adding and subtracting rational expressions. So a rational expression is just something like this, where you have some quantity over another quantity. And when we talk about rational expressions, we really mean that there's a variable in the denominator. But earlier on in your math life, you learned about adding fractions. So recall that when you have the same denominator, what we call like denominators, we keep the same denominator and then we just add the numerators. So very similar with rational expressions. When you have something like this, x over y plus 2 plus 5 over y plus 2, we're going to keep that same denominator, y plus 2, and then add the numerators. So we just add across, we get x plus 5. And subtracting the same thing. Now, there is one tricky thing about subtraction, and that's the main thing I want to point out here, is this trouble area that gives a lot of people a headache with subtracting rational expressions. And that is when you have this quantity over here and you've got a subtraction sign here, we have to remember that it's as if this was in parentheses is one way to remember it, because we've got to remember to distribute that subtraction sign. The other tricky thing is in a lot of math textbooks, pretty much everything, the convention is that the subtraction sign is right on the same level as the fraction bar. So when you rewrite this yourself, please write the subtraction sign a little bit higher and put these things in parentheses, and then do this rewrite. So I'm rewriting the problem to put it over that denominator, x plus y, and then I'm going to rewrite the numerators as one expression, 5x plus 7 minus the quantity 3x minus 5. And now I'm going to distribute that minus sign when I rewrite it this time. So 5x plus 7 stays the way it is. Then we have minus 3x, and then that negative sign, that minus sign here, times this negative 5 is going to give us plus 5. So here we're going to still keeping the same denominator, of course. Now we're going to combine like terms. So 5x minus 3x is 2x, and then 7 plus 5 is 12. And we can factor out a 2 from the top. It's always a good idea to see if there's any further simplifying to do. And in this case, there's not, but this would be our final answer for that problem. So let's look at a situation where we have a subtraction problem with unlike denominators. So whether this is addition or subtraction, you're going to do the same operations to get the denominators to be the same. So what we're going to start with is the quantity x minus 1 over 3x plus 15 minus x plus 3 over 5x plus 25. So I didn't really need to put this in parentheses right away, but don't worry about it because we're going to add some parentheses in a moment. So first we're going to focus on these denominators. They're not the same, but what we need to do is factor these to see if they have anything in common, or what does each one have, what does each one need. So in this case we have a common factor of 3 we can factor out, and over here we have a common factor of 5, right? So we've got the GCF out of each of these. And notice that then, so we're going to just ignore those for now because we've got this new version where we have, let me rewrite that, x minus 1 over 3 times x plus 5 minus x plus 3 over 5 times x plus 5. So each of these already has a factor of x plus 5. But for this denominator to be like this denominator, it's going to need a factor of 5. So let me show that I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 5 over 5. And now I do want to put that in parentheses. And for this one, we need a factor of 3 to get the denominators to be alike. So let me put this in parentheses now. So I can rewrite this as 5 times x minus 1 over 15 times x plus 5 minus 3 times x plus 3 over 15 times x plus 5. And now that I have like denominators, I can rewrite this as one entire expression. And as I do that, of course, it's going to be easier to see that I've got to remember that I've got this negative sign here that has to be distributed. So let's go over here and write 5 times x minus 1 minus 3 times x plus 3 all over 15 times x plus 5. So I'm going to do all my distribution in this step. 5x minus 5 minus 3x, and be careful here, it's going to be minus 9, negative 3 times 3. So minus 9 over the quantity 15 times x plus 5. Now I combine like terms. 5x minus 3x gives me 2x. Negative 5 and negative 9 give me negative 14 over 15 times quantity x plus 5. So for my final step, I like to see if there's any additional factoring, and I know I can factor a 2 out of this numerator, so that's going to be 2 times the quantity x minus 7 over 15 times x plus 5, and I can see that I don't have any canceling I need to do, so this is my final answer. If you have any math problems or examples you'd like to see featured on this channel, please leave a note in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching.